The volume is so loud. So you just read this as we go along with the video, okay? Okay, let me now ask you about what you have learned from the presentation. What have you seen? What have you observed? What are your observations? What are your insights about it? Anybody, please? Any volunteer? I'm gonna go back on the presentation. Yes. Maglabaw jud ang attitude kaysa sa for a while ha. Let me just see the chat box. Maglabaw jud ang attitude kaysa sa knowledge and hard work. What else? Again, di ba this video, if I'm gonna be showing you again this one, di ba it states that this one. Let's not have that one. Let's have the previous one. Kenisha. If A, B until Z is represented by 1 to 26, take note, there are 26 letters in the alphabet, and that is corresponded with the numbers 1 to 26. So meaning, if I'm gonna, A is for 1, B is for 2, and then let's go to hard work. Hard work, H is 8, plus 1, which is A, plus 18, R. So, kining mga numbers ani niya nga nag-correspond ganiha, i-add na naton tanan, ang result is 98%. Ang knowledge pod, if i-add ni mo tanan, like ang knowledge K is 11, N is 14, 0 is 15, until E is 5, it's 96%. If you're gonna be having attitude, it will give you 100%. 1, 20, which are the corresponding numbers for each letter of the word attitude. But if you will gonna take love of God, that's 15 plus 12 plus 22 for each letters nga nag-correspond ana, it will give you 101%. So therefore, while hard work and knowledge will get you close, attitude will get you there. It's the love of God that will put you over the top. So again, once again, good afternoon to everyone. Let's now continue with this slide. The beauty of mathematics. Okay. Can I have a volunteer to read what is written on the screen right now? Any volunteer from the class who would like to read? Yes, Julie Marie. Thank you, Julie Marie.
In this discussion, we'll be looking at patterns and regularities in the world and how mathematics come into play, both in nature and human endeavor.
And
Definition.
yes, continue.
Patterns are regular, repeated, or recurring forms or designs. Example, layout of floor tiles, designs of buildings, the way we tie our shoelaces. Studying patterns help us in identifying relationships and finding local connections to form generalizations and make predictions.
Okay, from the word patterns again, regular, repeated, and recurring forms or designs. And you can clearly see that along layout of tiles, designs of buildings, the way we do our shoelaces. So these are examples of patterns. Now, to start with, let's focus on logic patterns first. Logic patterns are related to geometric patterns and numbers that are usually part of an aptitude test. It helps you arrange the order of figures. Again, these are what you call logic patterns, geometric patterns, and number patterns. Now, let's begin first with this one. Which of these figures can be used to continue the series given below? So you have here the first figure, the second figure, the third, and the fourth figure. What must be the next figure there? Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Or is it D?
C, sir.
C. Now, let me ask you this question. Why is it the letter C?
Like sa beginning, sir, kay murag sa right siya, sir, and sa
Yeah.
letter ni kuan siya, sir, kanang sir, di ko ka di ko ma-explain, sir, pero
Nituyok siya.
first, sir, kay
Nituyok.
yeah, right, sir, tapos yeah, murag sa opposite na sad siya, sir, mag beginning, sir,
Oh,
like
okay.
pareha sa kaning first mo.
Okay. So, take note, we started here. Na gipatuyok nato gamay ni handag siya. Gipatuyok pa jud ni nato to counterclockwise na nasa dire. Nagipatuyok again counterclockwise. So ipatuyok ni nato, this will be the answer. That's letter C. So this one, the pattern is simply turning something. It's simply circular rotation. Let's have this object. Which is the missing piece? Oh, is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Or is it D? Sige, let's have this figure over here.
B, sir.
Letter B as in beta or D as in delta?
Beta, sir.
Beta. Any other answers? Will you agree with your classmates? It's B?
B, sir.
It's
B.
letter B. All of you will say it's letter B. Now, let me ask you this question now. Nganong letter B man inyong answer?
Clockwise.
Again,
Tuyok,
it's
sir.
tuyok gihapon siya. Tuyok gihapon siya. This time, clockwise ang iyahang pagtuyok. Sakto ko?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let's continue with this one. Which of the figures can be used to continue the series given below? Which of the figures can be used to continue the series given below?
D, sir.
Letter. Why is it letter D? How come it's letter D?
Just like the first kaning two first, sir, nga
Yes.
pattern, sir, kay like nasa sa taas tapos ang usan na nasa siya sa ubos.
So, gimirror siya. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Gimirror, right? So, that will be our answer, letter D. Okay? Let's have this one. What should be the next pattern? Asa ibutang ang rectangle, ang circle, ang arrow going to the right, and arrow going down? where should we put the arrow or the rectangle? Na mo ni ang first figure, mo ni ang second figure. What is the next figure?
The rectangle, sir, in the right bottom.
Right bottom.
Then,
It's over
um,
here. So you are gonna place the rectangle over here.
And ang circle kay beside sa rectangle,
Over here. What about the arrow going down?
going down kay above sa circle,
Above
while
sa
ang
circle.
sideward kay above sa rectangle. Sa
Okay,
square
so
is
this
an-
will be
sorry, sir.
our next pattern. Okay? That will be our next pattern. Now, let's continue with another figure. Over here, what should be the next figure? What should be the missing figure? So you try to examine what should be, oh, sorry. What should be this figure over here, Kenisha? Who was that? Yes, who was raising his or her hand? Yes, Julie.
Downside, sir, kanang murag,
Yes. What should be the next figure?
kanang tulo ra bitaw ka boxer, then pa downside siya at ubang, sir.
Downside. Do we still have a curve? Do we still have this curve? Because as you
No,
have,
sir.
wala na tay curve, right?
X na, sir.
X siya. Is it the letter X? Will you agree it's the letter X?
T.
It's the letter?
T, sir.
It's
Yeah, T, sir.
okay, there you go. O kana siya dapat dira nga figure. As you can see, ang pattern is nagkawai yung curve, right? And then at the same time, in kini siyang plus na diri x diri plus. So plus x plus for sure for here. Yan nagkawai ang curve. So that will be the pattern for this one. So take note, there are a lot of patterns. What about this one? What should be the figure here? Unsa kay figure diri siya? Examine the pattern for the first two figures and you determine what should be in the figure, the missing figure there.
The shaded triangle, sir, kanang ma-inside siya, sir, sa square.
Okay, the triangle is now inside the square. So that will be our next pattern. Okay? Now, this will be your first activity next week. I already made a Google Forms for this. It's a matter na jud of multiple choice. Dili na mag-drawing. Kamura jud bahala magpili-pili as sa ang next nga what will be the next figure. So I will be giving you two activities next week. I'm gonna give the first activity, makita na ninyo next week pa. And then ang second activity is now about this. I would like you, after this one, after the discussion, I'm gonna give you the second activity. And you can start making the activity after our class. Okay? Does math really appear in nature? In a word, yes. However, unless you know what to look out for, it isn't very easy to spot. For example, would you have thought that the breeding of rabbits could be modeled on a simple number sequence? The same sequence can be used to construct the spiral shape that we can see in a shell. In this presentation, I aim to show some examples of the many different cases where you can find math in the real world. Here you go. Let's start with the pretty face. It is quite obvious that the human face is symmetrical. Now let's have the word symmetrical. What do you mean by the word symmetrical? Class, what do you mean by the word symmetrical?
Patas.
Like
Yes, patas. Correct. Awa ha. If I'm gonna be tungaonin nako siya, pasensya na if okay. If there are no deformities, mga like na ay mga samad-samad din ha, what is seen on the left side is seen also on the right side. Okay? However, studies have shown that the symmetry of another person's face is a large factor in determining whether or not we find them attractive. The better the quality of the symmetry, the more mathematically perfect it is. The more aesthetically pleasing we considered it to be. In short, the better the symmetry of someone's face, the more attractive you should find them. So this is all about a pretty face. Okay? Now let's go to beehives. Beehives. A beehive is made up of many hexagons. What is a hexagon? What is a hexagon?
Shape.
It's a shape. It's a polygon. How many sides does a hexagon have?
6 sides.
Okay. A polygon with 6 sides. As you can see, kining beehive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wala joy beehive nga dili 6 sides. Tanan ana 6 sides na siya. Now here's the question. Why hexagons? Why not squares? Why not triangles? Hexagons fit most closely together without any gaps. So they are an ideal shape to maximize the available space. Okay? So this is all about beehives. Now let's continue. This one. This is what we are talking about in our first presentation. Rabbit multiplication. Can I have somebody to read what is written on or presented on the screen? Let's just have the first part. Then I'm gonna call another one for the second part. Then the third. Then the fourth. Can I have a volunteer to read the first part? Yes, Mary Rose. Then Katrina, you read the second part.
The breeding of rabbits is a very effective way of demonstrating the Fibonacci sequence.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's go to the next part.
The Fibonacci sequence is a sequence of numbers formed by adding together the two previous numbers.
Okay, what about the third part? Any volunteers? Let's go back to any volunteers, please, for the third part? Yes, Mary Rose.
Let's suppose a newly born pair of rabbits, one male and one female, are put in a field. Rabbits are able to mate at the age of 1 month, so that at the end of its second month of life, a female can produce another pair of rabbits. Suppose that our rabbits never die and that the female always produces one new pair, or one male and one female, every month. What would happen?
Okay, so there you go. Take note, the Fibonacci sequence starts with example 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, and 34. As you can see, 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. 3 plus 5 is 8. 5 plus 8, that's 13. 8 plus 13, that's 21. You add the two numbers, that's 34. So to get, what will be the next Fibonacci number? after the number 34, yes, Rika, what will be the next Fibonacci number?
55, sir.
55, because you added 21 on 34. Now, after the number 55, unsa may sunod ni 55 nga Fibonacci? Yes, Mary Rose.
89.
Yes, Mary Rose.
89, sir.
89 is
89, sir.
correct. 89. I agree with that. So here is the demonstration. So here's the demonstration. Number 1, we start off with one pair of rabbit in the field. So this is, mo ni siya ang starting point. Isa ka pare sa rabbit. Sunod, at the end of the first month, the first katong original pair, usa ra gihapon. Kay dili pa man siya makapanganak, di ba? After the first month. After the second month naman, at the end of the second month, dira na siya, mauni siya ang original rabbit, di ba? So this is the original rabbit. Nya, nakapanganak na siya diri og another pair. Okay? So take note, natay one pair, natay another one pair, and we have two pairs. Now, if this continues as you go on, look at this one. Kini siya dara. Ya, manganak na pod siya. So, ang original. Nya, nanganak siya laing partner. Kini siya, makapanganak na ba ni siya? Kini? Dili pa, di ba? Kay newly born man ni. So, what will happen? Maura jud na siya ang after during the third month, right? During that month. Sunod, manganak na pod ni siya. So, ang anak niya, dara. So, this is the same rabbit, nya na siya anak. This one, since this is a newly born rabbit, dili pa na siya mo-produce. Usa ra gihapon ka pares. Since this one, kay after, at the end of the second month, the first month, the second month, at the end here, naa siya diri, ug na siya anak. And this pattern will continue. And you can see the Fibonacci sequence over here. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. So, meaning 3 plus 5 is 8 until so on and so forth. So, mo ni siya nahitabo sa mga rabbit in the Fibonacci sequence. Okay? So, the Fibonacci sequence can also be used in another more visual way. This is the process of creating Fibonacci rectangles. Start with a small square over here. Kani siya nga square next to each other. So, nakay duha ka buk small squares. Kay dira man atong Fibonacci 1, 1. Diba? And then, from there, above it, you make a square. So, meaning, ang square karon kay ang measurement 2, example, kung 1 inches ni siya, 1 inch rather. So, ang meaning, ang square na ko kay 2 inches na ang dimensions. Because na ako'y 1 inch diri, o na ako'y 1 inch diri. So, I'll be having a 2 inches na nga square. And then, out here, I'm gonna make another square. So, meaning, na ako'y 2 inches o 1 inch, this square now will be 3 inches ang dimension. Then, out from this part here, I'll make another square, which has a dimension of 3 plus 1 plus 1, which is 5. And I'm going to make another square over here, which has a dimension of 8, coming from 5 plus 1 plus 2. And I'll be having another square, which is a dimension of 8 plus 2 plus 3, which is 13. As you can see, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13 is or are numbers in the Fibonacci sequence. So if we will continue with this, I'm going to make a spiral now. Look at what happens. If I'm going to be creating a spiral there, as we go on, the squares begin to form a certain pattern. If we draw a line from or through the corner of each square, we start to get a spiral shape. So from here kana, nya, kana, human kana, going there. And that is the shape that you see on a seashell. So the seashell has Fibonacci sequence on that. Okay, now let's continue. The Fibonacci flowers. The Fibonacci sequence previously mentioned appears in other cases. The ratio of consecutive numbers in the Fibonacci sequence approaches a number is known as the golden ratio. And this is equal to 1.16, so on and so forth. Phi is often found in nature. A golden spiral formed in a manner similar to the Fibonacci spiral can be found by tracing the seeds. If I'm going to be tracing the seeds here, Kenisha, if I'm going to be counting the number of spirals there, ang resulta na class na makitaan sa Fibonacci sequence. I'm gonna be counting also for the other side. Ang number of spirals there, mausad na yung numbers nga makitaan ninyo sa Fibonacci sequence. And that is really true in a sunflower. Okay? So, this is more again on flowers. So, as you can see, ang Fibonacci numbers kay 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. Then we have 21. Here you go. Flowers ganay 3 petals. Lily, iris. Flowers ganay 5 petals. Buttercup, wild rose. I'm not familiar with a larkspur. And 8 petals. A 13 petals nga flowers. These are the flowers with 13 petals. A flower with 21 petals. A flower with 34 petals. 55 and 89 petals. Isn't it a coincidence nga the number in the Fibonacci sequence are found in nature? Okay? We have here another pattern. That's what you call the natural fractals. Fractals don't appear in nature as such, but they are another clear example of the way math and nature can be linked together. A fractal is a geometric pattern that is repeated at every scale, and so cannot be represented by classical geometry. Let's start with stage 1. As you can see, this is a fractal. In stage 2, awan ni siya. This is the stage 1. This is another stage 1. Mo ni siyang stage 2. And from here, kini siya, nahimuan na sad siya og lain nga. So these are examples of fractals. As you can see, kanang fractals, you can see that in snowflakes. That can be seen in snowflakes. Okay? As you can see in our figure, the snowflake there, when you repeat, you can create a snowflake there. So a fractal constructs the snowflakes. Let's continue. These are fractals in trees. Fractal ferns. These are fractal spiral. And that is all about nature and mathematics. Any concerns about the presentation? So, diri mo gawas ang inyuhang second activity. So, ang second activity, pwede na mo makastart og himuan na after our discussion. Kaya napaman ko the next part of our discussion, walay activity ana, pero ako nang i-introduce karon kay para ang continuation ana will be next week. Okay? So, again, your activity will be this one. The first will be look for a picture over the internet where mathematics is found in nature. then just briefly explain. I only want a short explanation. Please do not copy and paste what is ever found in Google. Example, na picture, man i-copy paste rin mo, ayaw. You make your own insights, description. Bahala gamay ra na 2 to 3 sentences, basta kamoy nag-describe, kamoy naghimo sa sentence, that is totally fine. Again, the first activity will be look for a picture over the internet wherein math is found in nature. It's up to you kung, sir, akong gamiton, sir, kay tiles. It's up to you kung, sir, akong gamiton, sir, kay statue, sir. Kamo na'y bahalaan, basta explain nganong na ay mathematics din ha. Sir, akong ikuan, sir, kay kanang mga columns, sir, sa mga temples. Ay, it's all up to you. Basta explain why is mathematics found there. Is our first activity clear?
Yes, sir.
Then, isubmit ni siya sa atong Neo LMS. So, meaning di ay, sir, pwede ra document, sir, pwede ra document, sir, pwede ra sa among i-drawing, sir, then among isuwat-suwat among description, then among picturean, then isend na mo dito sa Neo, not Neo, sa inyong e-think, sorry, sa e-think Moodle ninyo, rather, Neo is sa junior high school na mo. Again, pwede siya document, in Word, in PDF, it's all up to you. Sir, pwede sa like mga websites among gamiton, sir, para dito lang may mag-construct, then we will give you the link. Pwede ra sad kaayo na. As long as I can open the link, walay problema. And asa isubmit, sa e-think ninyo isubmit. And then the second activity, katong akong giingon ganiha, Google Forms to siya, 10 items ra jud to, wherein it's multiple choice form. You are given a sequence of figures and you will be looking for the next figure. That will be your second activity. Is that okay or sobra ra siya kadaghan? Please tell me. Class, okay.
Sir, pwede
Okay.
pa-repeat sa second activity.
Okay, ang second, okay, balik ha. Ang second activity nato is Google Forms na saya. Multiple choice ang format. Ang items kay hatagan mo og series of figures. Katuging nahitabo na to ganiha ingani. Mao ni ang sorry for that. Over here, let me discard this first. It's over here, kani siya. Mao ni siya example na that asa na to? Here. Not that. Asa naman to? Wait ha. Let me look for yeah, kini. So, example, you are given this figure. What will be the next figure? If you're given this one, what will be the next pattern over there? So, mo na siya ang nasa Google Forms. Yeah, multiple choice ra dod. So, meaning na natanang answers ito, all you need to do is choose the correct answer.
This week, sir.
You will be makita na siyang activity ikaw Monday pa. Monday pa na siya makita ang activity. So, ang inyong sugdan sa ughimo is ang activity number 1. Katong mangita mong picture sa internet nga naay mathematics ang picture in nature, and then inyong i-explain ganong naay mathematics din na.
Sige, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Are there things nga mag-need og clarification or nasabtan na ang activity 1 and 2 for our first session? Yes, Ceballos, Boyan?
Sir, clarify lang ako, sir, ba? Kano sa tayo pass ang katong activity 1 gani, sir?
Ang activity number 1 kay, here's the thing, pwede na jud ko ninyo masubmitan anytime next week. So the deadline is anytime next week, and I will be opening that assignment. Dili ko na siya i-close. That will be open every time para if ganahan mo na mo iusab sa inyong assignment, you just inform me, sir, na ako'y bagong gi-upload dito, sir. Can you recheck it, sir? So, I will not be closing it. You can submit the assignment so good inig Monday because the submission will be seen on Monday together with the other activity nga katong Google Forms. So lahi na siya ha. Activity number 1.1 is about nature in mathematics. Ang activity 1.2 will be the Google Forms. Katong patterns nato. Nya makita na ninyo tanan inig ka ikalunis. Pero ang activity 1.1 pwede na mo maghimo og start as early as now para inig Monday pwede na mong mo submit inig Lunes sa ato ang e-think LMS.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Is everything clear about the two activities?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's continue now. So I'm gonna begin with this one. Let's have computation a little bit. Okay? Now, patterns and sequences. Patterns refer to usual types of procedure or rules that can be followed. Patterns are useful to predict what came before or what might come after a set of numbers that are arranged in a particular order. This arrangement of numbers is called a sequence. So from now on until next meeting nato, we will be focusing now on sequences. This is an example of a sequence. And what is the pattern of this sequence? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. What pattern do you see over our example?
+3.
+3. That's a very good pattern. Sir, +3 is a good pattern. Any other patterns that you see? Sir, those numbers are all multiples of 3. Those numbers are all divisible by 3. Pwede po na siya. Pero the best pattern here is +3. Okay? Now, the terms, the word term, are the numbers that are found in the sequence. So 3 is a term, and this is what you call the first term over here. The number 6 is the second term. The number 9 is the third term. So on, the fourth term and the fifth term. So we have 5 terms in our sequence in our example. Now, let's search for patterns. Let's try these. Let us give the term-to-term rule. When I say term-to-term rule, this +3 over here is a term-to-term rule. Okay? This is an example of a term-to-term rule, the +3. Let's start with our first one. What is the term-to-term rule or the pattern in number 1?
Four, sir.
+4. That's correct. So, as you can see, sir, to get the next term, sir, nag +4 ko, sir. 7 plus 4 is 11. 11 plus 4, sorry. 11 plus 4 is 15. So if I'm gonna be getting the next term, what will be the next term?
19, sir.
19. So it's simply adding 4.
19.
That's totally right. Let's go to the second example. What is the pattern in the second example? What's the term-to-term rule?
+5.
+5.
five.
And
Five.
what will be our next pattern? What will be our next number?
20.
20 will be the next number. Let's go to number 3. What is the pattern in number 3?
-3.
-3. Correct. That's plus -3 or -3. So if I'm going to be having 16 minus 3, it's 13. 13 minus 3 is 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. What will be the next number?
4.
4.
There you go.
4.
The next number will be the number 4. Naay nag-chat sa atong GC for a while. Sa ha. Okay. Sige lang, walay problema. Ako ra sa ning ibutang ang announcement sa atong GC about si assignment para makahibaw jud tanan about it. Kay nay uban na nga out na sa atong Google Meet. Anyway, this is a recorded session, by the way. Number 4. What is the pattern in number 4?
-2, sir.
-2. So what will be the next number?
-2, sir.
-5.
-5 is right. So we have -2. We have -2. -2. That's -2. It will give us -5. What about number 5?
Times 2.
Times 2, sir.
Very good. That's multiply by 2. As you can see, 1 times 2, 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8 times 2. What will be the next number?
32.
32 will be the next number. That's totally right. What about number 6? What's the pattern in number 6?
Plus 1.5.
That's totally right. Plus 1.5. And what will be the next number?
8, sir.
The next number will be the number 8. Okay? Let's go to our last item. Number 7. What will be the pattern for number 7?
.09.
What's the pattern in number 7 plus 0.09? Is that your answer? Because if I'm gonna add 0.09 here, it's really 0.1. But what is 0.1 plus 0.09? It's 0.19. It's not 1. So meaning, kanang 0.09 nga pag-plus nimo is not the pattern because take note, it should apply to all the terms. Yes, Sean? Sean? So,
I think, sir, karang answer. Decimal siya ang pattern.
unsa man ang pattern Sean? Dapat ang pattern Sean ma-apply nimo sa tanan. Unsa may gibuhat na ako ani to get this number. To get this number. To get this number.
Left to right siya nga answer.
Ang imuhang gipasabot Sean is gimove ang decimal point.
Yes, sir.
Gimove. Kapila nimo gimove Sean?
Pag una kay usa nya sunod usa na sad.
Usa. So meaning
Sunod na
kanang pag-move sa decimal point naman na siya operation. What operation is that? Sige. How did I
Wala ko kabaw sa
Wala. Pero your idea Sean is correct. Gimove ang decimal point, sir. I get that. That's totally right. Gimove sir ang decimal na himong 0.1. Sir, gimove ang decimal point na himong 1. Sir, gimove ang decimal point na himong 10. That idea is correct. Pero unsa may
10, sir.
times 10. It's so simple. Times 10. So when I multiply this by 10, I'll move the decimal point once to the right. Multiply this by 10. Multiply this by 10. So what will be the next number here?
100.
100. So these are things, these are examples wherein we are simply searching for patterns. Okay? Now let's go to take note. There are so many kinds of sequences, and let's focus first on arithmetic sequence. Do you still remember what an arithmetic sequence is? This is a definition. A sequence of numbers in which the difference between any two consecutive numbers or expressions is the same. If I'm gonna go back to our example, if I'm gonna get the difference, pili difference aning numbers, di ba 4? Pili difference ani, di ba 5? Di ba ang difference ani is -3? Difference is -2. Kining 1, kining number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 6 are all examples of arithmetic sequence. Nga naman, pag minus na ako each term, constant man, the same man sa tanan. Pag minus sir kay 4, pag minus sa mga terms 5, pag minus sa mga terms -3. And these are all arithmetic sequences. So meaning di ay sir, ang arithmetic sequence di ay is adding or subtracting a constant number. Let's have an example. Find the next 3 numbers or terms in each pattern. This pattern over here. Now, here's the thing. Look for a pattern. Usually, what's the pattern what pattern do you see over here? Tanawa katong gibuhat ato ganiha. Unsay may pattern dire? Plus,
Adding
okay. See, let's show that. Let's show that para mas maklaro. We have this one. So we have 7 plus 5 is 12. 12 plus 5 is 17. 17 plus 5 is 22. If the pattern continues, what will be the next number?
27.
27. Correct.
27.
The next number to 27.
32.
32. Next number ni 32. 37. So these are the next 3 terms. Okay? These are the next 3 terms in our sequence, specifically arithmetic sequence. Let's have another example. This one. What pattern do you see?
-3, sir.
-3. Correct.
-3.
So we have here.
-3.
Correct. -3 plus -3 plus -3 plus -3 plus -3 or -3, no problem. What will be the next number to the number 36?
33.
33. What will be next to 33?
30.
30. Next to 30?
27.
27. And these are the next 3 terms for this sequence. Okay? Now, let's introduce the arithmetic sequence formula. Do you still remember this formula? Naka-remember pa mo aning a formula class when you were junior high school? So, this is the arithmetic sequence formula, and let's get to know the parts of the formula. A sub n is the nth term. A sub 1 is the first term. A sub or n rather is the term number. So example, if I'm gonna be having like A sub 20 is 30, example lang, ang A sub n nako class is the number 30. Kay mo man ni siya ang A sub n. Okay? So A sub n is the number 30. Do not give me 20 because 20 is the term number, meaning 20th term ni siya. D is the common difference. Now let's go to our first problem. You're given this one. 4, 7, 10, 13. We will be looking for the 25th term. Again, we will be finding the 25th term. Let's make use of the formula. We are looking for this. This is what we are looking for. This is question mark. What is the first term in our example?
4.
Okay. As you can see, the first term is the number 4. What is the value of n? What is the value?
25.
25. This one, kani siya, mao nay value sa n. What is the value of D? What is the common difference? Katong pattern nato, pila sa may pattern dire?
3, sir.
Okay, plus 3 or 3. Mo na common difference nato. Sir, is there another way of getting the common difference? It's simply 7 minus 3. Ang second term minusan sa first term. Again, ang common difference, we can have a formula for that. The second term minus the first term. And in this case, that will give us 7 minus 4. That is the number 3. So let's apply everything, substitute everything to the formula. We are looking for a sub 25. The first term is what number again?
4.
The number 4. Plus, what was the value of n?
25.
25. Minus 1. What is the common difference? D. What is D?
3.
3. Okay. Unsa may buhaton ako una first. You apply PEMDAS. What will you do first there?
25 minus 1.
Ay, okay. Okay. 25 minus 1. So, you will be getting 24. Then, after subtracting 25 and 1, what do you do next? Multiply. How much do you get? Correct. Multiply. Ang unang gisubtract is this. We were able to get 24. Human gi-multiply. Pila maning 24 times 3?
72.
72. And what is 72 plus 4?
76.
Oh, this will be the 25th term. The number 76. Okay? Let's have another example over here. So we have here our formula. So we all know that a sub n is a sub 32. Let's write that down. A sub 32. What is the first term?
79.
79 is the first term. So let's write 79. Plus, what is the value of n?
32.
32. Sir, dara si n, the number 32. 32 cn minus 1. What is the common difference?
4, sir.
Is it positive 4? Is it negative 4?
Minus 2.
Okay.
Negative 4, sir.
Okay, so
Negative
take
4.
note. If I'm going to be using the formula I gave you a while ago, the common difference is simply a sub 2 minus a sub 1. The first term, which is, or the second term, which is 75, minus the first term, that is 79, that will give me negative 4. Okay? Or you can have the pattern, sir, minus 4 man, sir, negative 4 ang akong common difference there. Now, let's continue. Just like what we did a while ago, unsay unahon ani?
32 minus
32 minus 1, which will give us 31. What is 31 times negative 4?
Negative 124.
That's correct. Negative 124 for this. Kini siya. And what is 79 minus 124?
Negative 45.
Negative 45. Oh, this will be our 32nd term. Okay?